401k.
For what?
401k.
401k.
Hey.
IRS.
Oh boy.
I wrote Sprintex.
Sprintex. Yeah.
I
Okay.
wrote H&R Block.
Yeah.
TurboTax. April 15th.
And April 15th.
Hey.
Okay. Okay. Lola, would you like to share?
W-2 tax returns and income.
Okay, great, good. So you guys have heard words about taxes, that's good. Great, good, step one. Give me one.
I wrote the whole formula, but standard.
Oh my god.
Great, great, great.
Standard deduction, itemized deduction.
You're gonna tell me my whole press. I'll just put down standard deduction,
The personal dependent
the personal
exemption.
Okay. I think that's a good list right now. So you guys have pretty much listed out, like, I'm not gonna talk about all these things. Then I put these two at the bottom because I have some very interesting commentary about the April 15th thing. So, earlier I said we're gonna kind of define these terms and talk about what they mean, and then I said we're gonna do a practice scenario where we're actually calculating taxes. So I'm gonna define some of this stuff. Probably won't get too much into this stuff because it's a little complex, and then I'll kind of talk about these two. So, first thing. I've divided all these terms into, there's paycheck terms and then there's 1040 terms. So let's first start talking about the paycheck terms. We have all of these things. So, someone said W-2. Who said W-2? Good job. So we're gonna talk about what that means. So let me go ahead and work on the example. Okay, all right. So, who's graduating soon? Yes. Sort of.
December.
This summer. Good, okay. We're gonna use you, okay?
Great.
Alex has a contract with, who are you working with?
Lockheed? The company?
Yeah.
Oh, Lockheed Martin.
So they're giving you $100,000 to start off.
They're giving me?
Yeah, I'm telling them to give you $100,000.
No.
So
Start
when Alex works, so let's say he's been working there for a year, and he's gonna get a W-2 form, okay? W-2, so you talked about that. W-2, let's write that out. Basically, it's a summary of how much you've earned, how much taxes your employer has taken out for you, and all this other stuff that goes on. So let's say Alex has to pay $5,000 in health insurance, his uniform, parking, all of those things. So that's gonna be reflected on that W-2. So his income he gets to take home, that kind of income, would be $95,000. So the W-2 is going to look something like this. I don't know if you guys can see that perfectly, sort of. So all of this side is irrelevant. It's just a bunch of, IRS just wants a bunch of numbers and all that. But what's important is the fact that it's a W-2. And there's three little terms up here at the top. You have federal income tax withheld, you have Social Security tax withheld, and you have Medicare tax withheld. So, the Medicare tax withheld and the Social Security tax withheld, those are both FICA taxes, okay? So you have the Social Security part on one side, and then you have the Medicaid on one side. And guess what? It's always gonna be for right now, as long as they don't make too many changes, it's going to be 7.65% of your income. You're not going to get that back. You'll get it back, maybe if Social Security lasts, 60 years later when Alex is getting Social Security, you'll probably see it then. This goes towards programming. So if we have 7.65%, how much of that money does Alex pay in FICA taxes? If he makes $100,000 and it's 7.65% goes to FICA taxes, how much does he pay in FICA taxes total?
7,000. 650.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Isn't it true that the company also pays the half of the FICA?
Yes. So now the company also pays 7.65%. That would be called like employment taxes. So you're probably thinking, well, why don't I can just not work for a company. I don't have to pay these. Guess what? If you own your own business, such as being a Mary Kay consultant, you have to pay 7.65% of your income. That would be called self-employment income, but it's still the same concept because you're the employer and you're the employee, so now you have to pay that twice. Yeah. So you're not getting away with that. So just keep that in mind, because if Alex is thinking, oh, I make $100,000, I'm rich. No, sweetie. No, not yet. Not yet. Are there any questions about those two terms? Okay. I know people are heartbroken about their money. I know people are sad about this. So this is just pretty much kind of this chart. 6.2% goes towards Social Security, and 1.45% goes to Medicaid. But I'm sure y'all don't care. You just know a bunch of money's gone, so it doesn't matter where it goes. It's just gone. Okay, and so there's another term that we talked about being on this W-2, and that's the federal withholdings. So I'm gonna later show you when I say a very simple tax calculation, because there's a lot, we're gonna see kind of where this $25,000 may have come from. But just for sake of simplicity, I just kind of assume that he would pay about 25% of his income in taxes. So by the time that poor Alex is done, he probably is only gonna have $67,000. About. That's a very
25%.
Yeah, 25% of this. I'll show you kind of where I got that from. Depending on other things that you could do, you could make that number lower. But just know that it's not going to be all shiny and 100,000
have some
like you
children.
think. So, federal withholding. So this is kind of the thought about taxes, because I've done people's taxes before. And the way I'm about to show you a very simple calculation. So you have the actual amount that you were supposed to pay. We're going to call that the tax payment, for example. Let's say, for example, that should have been $25,000, okay? Because this money is due, somebody said April 15th. Who said that? So the income taxes are due on April 18th. They changed that 3 days later. I don't know what that's going to do, but whatever. So April 18th is the new deadline. So ideally, the system would work like this. Alex makes $100,000. For the sake of simplicity, he's going to pay us 25% of his income in income taxes. So we'll just wait until April, and then he'll give us the whole $25,000. Now, why would that not work?
He wouldn't have 25,000 right on hand.
Have $25,000 right on hand, because he's like, I don't have that. So now we have this thing called the employer federal withholding, a lot of long terminology. But basically, the employer is trying its best to get as close to this $25,000 as possible. So it'll take out stuff in the federal withholdings to try to get as close as it can to that amount of money. Because otherwise, the IRS would never get it, plain and simple. So if Alex really needs to pay $25,000 and his employer took out over the year $26,000, he gets a refund of $1,000, right? Because he has been paying $26,000, he should have only paid $25,000. So this is the problem I see working with people in taxes. For some reason, people think that this $1,000 is free money, and so they go out and just spend it lavishly. No, it's your money. Like, you have been taking, for example, you've been taking a lower standard of living, $1,000 throughout the whole year, because they've been taking out too much money. And now all of a sudden you get all this money and you think, oh God, I'm rich, I gotta get all this money. So it's problematic in that way. So my way of looking at taxes, and it is my hope that everyone looks at it this way, if I really owe $1,000, I want the amount of taxes that I actually owe to equal the exact same amount of money that they've been taking out. I honestly would rather pay the government like $10 than to get a $10 refund back. Because that means I've lended them $10 all year with no interest, but I can't really go anywhere else to get a $10 loan with no interest. Now, but if you take that $10 and spread it out to thousands and thousands, you've been lending the government tens of thousands of dollars for free. But if you're a day late, if I owe them $10,000, you start to get penalties and fines. So that's kind of my philosophy on taxes.
Do you get interest back?
Oh no, you don't get interest back. That's no. That's crazy. But you would owe interest and penalties if you're a day late on April 19th, for example. Okay, any questions? I'm just giving y'all a dose of reality. It's hard out there, yeah.
So that's 25% or 35%?
25% of 100,000.
Okay.
That's a 25.
Okay, because
Yeah. Ooh, I think I know what you're about to say, but go ahead and say it.
because my friend, he works in Atlanta, he makes exact same salary which you assumed here for
Mhm.
Alex, and
Yeah.
he told me he pays something around 33%, not 25%.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of get to that because there's different, so when we talk about tax brackets, I'm gonna kind of get to that because I did simplify this a lot just for the sake of discussion. So good question. Now let's talk about the 1040 form. It's that really long it's 2 pages, but it just has so much on it that it's just frustrating. But he pretty much has the calculation down, and I'm gonna run you guys through a sample calculation of, again, I'm oversimplifying the process of how you would understand your taxes. But again, all of these terms are things that we're going to explain, and you guys pretty much said most of them up there. So you guys have heard it, and you're ready to start thinking about it. And if you guys forget these terms, that's totally fine. I don't expect you guys to remember everything. I just want you to know that they matter so that you'll know later to go back and look them up, right? So this is the link, but since I can't access the screen, I'm not gonna show that, but if you Google 1040 tax form, you will find it. The IRS makes it very accessible for you to get your taxes done, right? Okay, so I'm gonna leave this here for this side to see, but I'm also gonna write this example on the board just because of simplicity. So, there's this thing called filing status. So, the first thing you need to know about filing status is you first need to think about, are you married or unmarried? Raise your hand if you're married. Nobody, okay, great. So everybody in this room is single because they're unmarried, not because they have an intended or whatever. So, single is a filing status. There's also one called head of household. That's if you're unmarried but have kids. The way the IRS treats having kids would assume that the kid lives with you and you're taking care of the kid. So I could have a kid, but my boyfriend takes care of him. So for the purposes of this, my boyfriend is filing head of household, but I'm filing single. So it can get complicated, and the IRS spells it out of who could claim the kid. So oftentimes you'll hear people say, I'm gonna claim the kid. There's a lot that has to go on with that. There's 4 tests.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my gosh.
crazy. I'm just gonna explain the top 3 filing statuses. There's 5 or 6. There's 5 or 6 different filing statuses, but these are the most common. Everybody in here is gonna be single, so, right. This is married filing jointly, so whenever Mr. Wright finally decides that he can't live without me, then me and him will do married filing jointly. Right. Okay, so with head of household, let's assume, for example, that there's 1 kid. And for the married filing jointly, we'll assume that there is 1 kid. So who wants to pretend to be married filing jointly? You, because you're probably the only person I know that is in a relationship. So you're gonna pretend that you and Melissa are happily married, and Tyler's your son.
Me and Melissa aren't
What?
together. No, I'm playing.
Okay, and Tyler's your son.
Hey.
Okay, all right. Who wants to be the single person?
Dad?
You'll be the single person. Somebody needs to be somebody who. Okay, Lola, you can be the head of household mom and to tend your kid. Clearly.
That seems about right.
So keep
Seems all
this,
right.
keep this in mind, okay? So everyone's family earns $82,000, right?
Nice, Dad.
So we're gonna have to play a game. Whichever family has to pay the least amount of taxes wins. Okay, so you two, and yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing, everybody makes $82,000. I don't know if Melissa makes 41, you get 41. You own a whole company, you got 82, and you're just yeah, you got 82. 82. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna see on the tax form, there's a bunch of ways that the tax system classifies income. It may not seem like it's income to us, but if it's income to them, it's income to them. So for example, if you earn 5 cents on a dividend in a savings account, guess what? Income! Technically, you're supposed to report that. But technically, you're supposed to report that. So now, just because your income may be something, then there's something called adjustments. I'm not going to spell all that out. But basically, the IRS is like, you know what? Y'all have a bunch of income. Let's be nice. If you need to move from here to another city for job purposes, we'll be willing to take off $2,000 or so for that. Or if you have student loan debt and you pay interest, we'll take off for that. So there are some adjustments that you can do if you contribute to a retirement plan or 401k. Then you would take that off. So the thing about the tax system is sometimes you can earn a lot of money, but if you don't spend it according to the adjustments, then it may hurt you. So you're gonna find out later that simply because these people have kids and they're married, they're gonna have significantly lower taxes than the single dude who, yeah, sorry, just having kids, the same taxes. So we're gonna be nice and say that everybody had to spend $2,000 in student loan debt, and so now their AGI, adjusted gross income. This is a very important number. You're gonna hear people are pretty much gonna classify you according to your AGI. So your AGI, everybody here is 80,000. Well, let's say that Lola didn't have to spend didn't spend $2,000 on student loan interest. So now it looks like she might have earned more even though she